All in no rim. We back with another video. Still the producer, Doughboy Bush, Teddy White 45. Man, I'm sick right now. My Knicks. We're gonna talk about that real quick. But if this is your first time to the channel, please hit that sub button, comment, let us know what you think about the NBA playoffs so far. Like the video. We're gonna get straight to it, man. So we made a video yesterday. We kind of oh man, we talked about Minnesota OKC yesterday, and they actually played today. They played today in about 2.5 hours. But we're gonna talk about last night's game, which was the Knicks and the Pacers. Knicks are down 0-2. Pacers are up 2-0. Right now, they're in full control of the series in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not gonna lie, me personally, I mean, you know how people are, you know, once they see the result, they're gonna be like, oh, I expected this. I knew this was gonna. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. There's no way you thought the Pacers were gonna go to Madison Square Garden and win 2 games. A split, maybe 2 games. I don't think nobody thought it was gonna look like this, though.
No, not at all.
But I'm gonna let y'all get to it, man. 4-5, you ain't been on here in a couple episodes, man. I'm gonna let you fire off first, and then we'll go to Doughboy, and I'll say my little piece, man. What's your thoughts on this, on game 2 specifically, and then the series as a whole? What you thinking?
I believe I got the Pacers. Let's start off saying this.
No, you did. No, you did pick the Pacers before. You did. I'll give you that.
Now,
He did. Yeah, he definitely
I
did.
agree with you. Yes, I did not have the Knicks going up 2-0.
Or
right?
the Pacers. Pacers going up
2-0. But I knew they was going to get one on the road, though. Them going up 2-0? What the Haliburton?
What the Hally?
Hey, hey. I don't even have to even say no more. They're going back to Indiana. All they got to do is win one.
One, yeah.
All they have to do is win one. I also feel like this. The matchup with Indiana and OKC in the finals is going to be a great matchup.
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's going to be a sweep. That's going to be a sweep.
He said
that's going to be a sweep. That's not going to be a good series at all. That's not going to be a good NBA finals at all. They match up with OKC. OKC is light years better than that team. Like, and here's the thing. To me, I just got off the phone with, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who we all know, I don't want to say his name, but whatever, but who we all know, who just agreed with me, who said like the Knicks are a better team, but he feels like that game 1 win gave them the confidence that bled over into game 2. And now because they pretty much stole that one, the first game, and then the confidence going into game 2 is like, oh, we could really win here. Kind of it propelled them to win game 2. But even he said, like, no, roster wise, they're not a better team than the Knicks. So we know that. But again, I feel like coaching is the main culprit to why the Knicks are losing. Doughboy, what are your thoughts on that? This in the series, but like to what I just said about coaching and things like that.
Well, Rick Carlisle, we already know he's a great coach. He's doing a hell of a job right now with that team. He's got the right pieces around them, you know, and he's making the adjustments. He's making the adjustments that are needed for that team to go ahead and actually, you know, build the confidence to go ahead and win.
But you know what he's doing?
Now,
but mid-game adjustments. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
And like, I feel like Thibodeau's like adjustments, I don't know who's his coaching staff or like whatever they got going on, but it's some of these situations to where I'm like, if you just make the like Karl Towns, how many minutes did he play last night? I'm sorry, I don't even get my stats up. I'm not prepared. I'm sorry, y'all. But I know that he didn't play the minutes that he should have played last night because he was playing Mitchell Robinson so many minutes.
Mitchell Robinson,
because he felt like, you know, defensive. But if he's not doing what he needs to do defensively, he damn sure ain't finna do that offensively. You might as well get Karl Towns in there and just go bucket for bucket, basket for basket if you're going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you can't have a guy in there that's not productive offensively and he's not getting the stops. You know what I'm saying? So that didn't make no sense. But go ahead, continue. My bad.
Well, no, I'm just saying, you know, in that sense, he's definitely got these guys believing in what he's telling them, you know. And looking at the stat line here, there was a lot of players. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in double digits.
Double digits, yeah.
In points being scored. So when
team
you
oriented, for sure.
Yeah, when you have that balance, you know what I mean.
You know what that shows me too?
Helps you out.
That's scheme, offense, that's identity. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sometimes I feel like the Knicks don't have an identity. You know what I mean? Like when I see them on offense, I feel like what are they? What are they doing? You know what I mean? Like, are you guys a fast-paced team or are you half court? Is this, is it Brunson, or ISO, or are we moving with the ball? Or are we setting screen? Like, what are we doing? And it's kind of like, it seemed like there's not really an identity to this team offensively within this series. You know what I mean?
And it's crazy because they didn't really shoot that bad. They shot 47%, off of 40 for 84. And then 11 for 32 from 3-point line, which is 34%, which was terrible, But when I'm looking here, and it looks like it's a lot, is they turned the ball over 13 times.
There you go.
As well. So you can't turn the ball over 13 times and expect to go ahead and win. You got to.
And those turnovers turn into points for the other team. So
points, right? Definitely.
Nah, yeah. I mean, at this point of the year, when you're in the Eastern Conference Finals, it's pretty much, these teams know each other. You know what I mean? So you're not going to surprise anybody. You know what I mean? But one thing I did like that the Knicks did early, which is what I was saying I wanted them to do late in the fourth quarter of Game 1, contest every shot. And they, like when they were doing that, these motherfuckers was missing. Like Nembhard, he wasn't hitting his shots. Naismith wasn't hitting his shots. Haliburton, I think, only had a couple points by halftime. Like, you know what I'm saying? So keep that up. But that goes with coaching, right? Get your rotation. Precious Achua. You can't. He can't put him in 10 minutes just to like play. Rest your guys. Like these dudes are gassed.
They are.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and Tibbs is known for that. You know what I mean? So I think
he's definitely only playing. He's definitely only playing what a 6-man rotation right now. At this
I know
point,
McBride has been getting tick.
Possible.
McBride's been getting tick, and Mitchell Robinson's been getting tick off the bench. I think Campaign played a little bit, but for the most part, he's running his starters into the ground. But he's been known to do that. That's nothing new. That's nothing new. That's been a thing. And now, like for me, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask Sims, like, what is your thoughts about that, Sims, as far as like the total turnovers? Sorry about that. 13 versus 10, and then looking here, points off of turnovers. Knicks scored 17 of them. Indiana had 12 of those off of there. Fast break points 14-7. Indiana over the Knicks in that category. So it just goes to show that they're getting these points off of turnovers. What is your thought process, Simpson, in that regard? Like, what do you see that they need to go ahead and change up if you've been watching it?
I mean, I feel like this is Indiana's game. I feel like Indiana didn't gain confidence after Game 1. I feel like they came into this series already with the confidence of they can beat the Knicks. You know what I mean? Though the Knicks may have been unhealthy at times during the regular season when they played against the Pacers got their confidence from last year and this year. So this is like they're damn their big brother. If they win this series, they're big brother.
Hey, Steph don't want to hear that neither. He like, what?
I'm not here to debate. I'm not debating today because I'm not going there today.
No, this ain't a debate. All I'm saying is
it's not.
They are a very confident team. They can't each series each game in each series they just kept getting better.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing. Here's why I disagree. I feel like if you're the Pacers, you know that. How can I word this? You kind of know, even if you don't admit it. You know when niggas is better than you. You know that. Like, you know when niggas is better than you.
Okay.
Brunson, Karl Towns, you know what I'm saying? Mikal Bridges, I feel like, he's been in the NBA Finals before. And in Nobi, he's had, deep playoff runs. Was he on that Toronto Raptors team that won the championship? Was he there?
Anunoby, yeah. Anunoby and Siakam, yeah.
Yeah, so he knows how to play. I feel like, and I said this before the series, I feel like the Knicks are playing down and they're not playing up to their standard. I'm not saying they're playing down the competition, but they're not playing to their standard. This is not the best version of the New York Knicks. You know what I'm saying?
No, not at all.
And when they play like that, which was up until the middle of the fourth quarter, Game 1, it was night and day. It was clear who the better team was. These guys are better than the Pacers. They're not playing like they're better than the Pacers. So it's a difference between being better and playing better. There's a huge difference.
Better.
Let's not act like that's not a thing. We've seen, you know what I'm saying, if a team don't play to their standard, I mean, again, Brandon, what we call it? Playing with your food. Stop playing with your food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And it's like when you're up by 17 points with what 6 minutes to go? Or something like it was something like that.
5 or something like that.
It was something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Like you're not contesting shots. You're not getting back in transition. You're thinking like, oh, you're thinking they're waving the white flag and they're quitting like, you know what I'm saying? And then when it gets to like,
we're
shit,
up 15. Yeah, we're up 15. Yeah, we're up 15. They're not going to do anything. So let's just
so that's where I say it's clear who the better team is, but who the better coached team is the Pacers. You know what I'm saying? Who has more of an identity is the Pacers. You know what I mean? Who has more heart right now is the Pacers.
Pacers.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the better players are over there in New York. That's clear. I don't care what nobody says. But they're not playing like it.
I agree.
They're not playing like it. So that's my thoughts on that.
So my question to y'all is, since you think it's a coaching thing, and then also, you know, players being gassed or whatnot, what do you feel like Tibbs can go ahead and do differently, you know, as far as a game plan?
I mean, man,
for trying to slow down the Pacers.
Well, here's my thing, right? I know you kind of, because I said it's over. I I mean, if the away team comes to your court and gets two games, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's not like it's 3-0, but I mean, again, you let that first game slip and you lost that second game. But to me, to answer your question, if you're asking what can you do, you got to get your rotations going, right? You got to get Precious in there because he's a wing. Play that dude because it looks like you only want to play about maybe 3 guys off your bench. So Mitchell Robinson, McBride, you got to mix Precious in there to give OG rest, to give Miles Bridges rest, and kind of like stagger it. You know what I mean? Kind of stagger it. Okay, like I think at one point he had McBride and Mitchell in for Brunson and Cat. All right, bring Brunson and Cat back in, but give OG and Miles Bridges a little rest. You know what I'm saying? And put some of those wings in there, those wing players that can get in there and mix it up too. Yeah. Landry Shamet, but every team he's been on, I've seen him be able to get hot. You know what I'm saying? He's an NBA vet. Yeah. Like, man, you know, and the Pacers might not even account for him. You know what I'm saying? If he's on the court, like, oh, this corner 3, you know what I mean? So guys like that can play. But again, I blame Tibbs. I feel like this series is an indictment on Thibodeau as a head coach because it's kind of typical Tibbs. He runs his guys into the ground. Look it up. This is nothing new. This has been his MO. You know what I'm saying? So what I say is after this whole run is over, because I feel like, I'm not saying it's not impossible. If you can get the next game, you're back in it. You're back in it. Because if you can steal 2 on the road, you're back in it. But, you know, they got to win one game at a time at this point. It's not looking good. But if they lose this series, you got to fire Tibbs, man. He got to go. You got to go fire Tibbs and add some people to that, add some players to that bench moving forward, and then you can.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
What you think, Sams?
I feel like if they lose 3-1, 4-0, anywhere in there, I
think you lose. Period. He got to go.
You have to move on from Tibbs, and the first coach that comes to my mind is Mike Malone.
Mike Brown.
That's the
Mike Malone or Mike Brown.
That's the first.
Either one of the Mikes.
You know what I mean? Because it still gives you that defensive look that you know what I mean? He's a champion. He's proven. And man, his aura is like an East Coast, like a.
He's from New York.
Like
he's from New York. Mike Malone's from New York.
To me, that's the first thing that comes to my mind is Mike Malone. If they go down 3-1,
you know what's crazy? I didn't think that. I didn't think about that. That'd be a great move for them coaching wise, but
it would.
But I don't think Tibbs is there. I think he's gone. They lose this series, he's gone. There's no way.
4-1, it's over. Bye.
No, if they lose, period. If they lose a 7, he's gone. If they lose a series, he's gone. Like I want to bet on that. I'm willing to bet on that.
Let me ask y'all this question. Let me ask you this question. Would you like Tibbs? If Tibbs doesn't get a head coaching job, would you like him on the bench with the Kings?
No. For what? No.
Because you see a lot of, there's always another coach that's, the head coach guy, the experienced guy that's sitting right next to that head coach. So
starting to think he's a little overrated. Starting to think he's a little overrated.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and it's being exposed right now with what they're doing. So.
And I don't have no bias. It'd be some niggas that be dick riding. They coach like, nah, nigga, that nigga need to go, bro. He's trash right now. Like, nigga, your team should not be down 0-2. Not to this team.
They're definitely exposing him. They're definitely exposing him right now.
You just beat the Celtics when they had Jason Tatum. Now, don't get me wrong. He was hurt, but nigga, before Tatum got hurt, nigga, you was up on the champs. You see what I'm saying? Like playing up to your standard. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If anybody's sitting here saying that the Indiana Pacers are better than the Boston Celtics, you need to get drug checked. You need to get checked. You need to get checked out.
I can't agree.
You need to get checked out, and we just beat them. Even without Jason Tatum, they're still better than the Pacers.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's just my opinion on that. And you just beat the champs. Come on now, get it together. I
agree.
We're gonna see, man. I don't know. Dope boy, can they come back?
At this point, I'm just gonna say you gotta take it one game at a time. I think that when they lost those 2 games at home, bro, those were crucial. You can't let in a situation like this and being in the Eastern Conference Finals, you can't let a team come into your house and get you 2 games. Then have to go ahead and travel back to Indiana with the hopes of at least getting 1. So at this point, all that you can do if you're Tibbs is just preach 1 game at a time. You can't foresee the future and be like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and try to get 2 here, or 3. Just win 1 game at a time and go from there. Because right now, it's definitely looking very ugly. And I wouldn't be surprised if they get swept. I will not be surprised.
Swept?
Because the momentum, because the momentum that they're having right now, you're going back to Indiana, you're playing again in your crowd, your home, on your home court. Bro, the momentum
here's
can
the thing,
carry
right?
you on to make you feel like that.
And here's the thing before we go to 4-5. You just said something about sweat, right? And I think the only way that happens is if you're the Knicks and you've lost all confidence, right? We've seen when you talk about boxing teams, boxers losing confidence and getting beat in the ring. We've seen it happen in golf. You see it happen all in football. Like, so if you can lose confidence, this is where I disagree with you, 4-5. You said that they didn't gain any confidence by that win. I disagree with that. That's a huge thing to be like, damn,
momentum change,
nigga, and the way they did it too, like, oh, nigga, we got these niggas. That does boost your confidence. Like, just how you can get deflated, you can get your chest pumped out a little bit too. So I disagree with that. I'm not saying that they didn't come in thinking they could win. I never said that. You don't come in thinking like, oh, what was me? We're gonna lose. I didn't say that. But I'm saying when you win a game like that, it does boost. Like, but oh, nigga, we got these niggas. And then if you're the Knicks, you're like, damn, like, shit, we really just lost this shit. Especially when you're down 2 games. So if they get deflated emotionally and mentally, they can get swept. But if they're still confident, like, nigga, fuck these niggas, we know we're better. That's how you gonna win. Cause they fuck around, tear off 4 straight. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But go ahead.
You said it. You said it. Let me ask y'all a question. Do you feel game 1 gave the Pacers more confidence or depleted the Knicks more?
Both.
Yeah, I think it's both.
Both.
I would say more so. Both. I would say more so gave the Pacers confidence than deflated. I feel like the Knicks. The Knicks just felt like, okay, look here. We talk about it all the time. I know we just mentioned it about Holly being, I guess, a superstar, and how you said that sometimes, stuff, some of these balls that he shoots is by luck sometimes, So I would say that it gave them confidence, to come into Madison Square Garden and get the game 1 in there, and especially how they won it, to come back. Like you said, they were down, I think, 15 or 16 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Then you go ahead by, a lucky shot, we'll just say that, by Haliburton, which was a great shot. And it didn't become a 3, it was a 2. They ended up tying up the game, taking it into overtime. Then overtime, it was a completely different game. The momentum, you could tell.
Like I said,
we're better.
Indiana took that overtime. Up until the fourth quarter, the second half of the fourth quarter, Knicks collapsed. Overtime, Pacers took that shit. It was
definitely.
Yeah. So I'm not taking away credit from what happened in overtime, but that last half of that fourth, it was kind of like, all right, Knicks
that was
lost
that. That was a collapse.
Knicks, that was a collapse, but Pacers took it in the overtime. You know what I'm saying? So,
yes.
You know, but
I agree with that. I agree.
Man, we're gonna see. I believe Game 3, they're coming right back tomorrow, Sunday.
Yeah, they are.
So they're already in Indiana. I saw Tyrese Haliburton. I was watching the Fever and Atlanta Dream play earlier. Tyrese was at the game.
He's at the game.
They're already there, man. And you know, he over there smiling, looking happy. I'm like, oh, he feel like he going to the finals. You know what I'm saying? But
feeling good,
man. All right, but real quick though, before we get up out of here, 4-5. OKC and the Pacers are great finals. OKC's gonna dominate them niggas. Dominate them. They just came through the Western. We're not gonna discredit the Western Conference like that's not the better conference. We're not gonna do that.
I've been speaking high on OKC all season. Don't do that.
Yes.
No. With that, we're not saying that they're bad. No, I'm saying, but we see how good they are now going through the Western Conference, and they're pretty much.
I'm saying it's a better matchup.
I disagree.
I feel like they have more. I feel like Indiana has. I'm not saying it's going 7 games. I'm saying they got the depth that they have. It's very similar team. Very similar teams, bro.
Okay. All right, we'll see. Who the OKC had first round?
It might be 4-2.
Who the OKC had first round? OKC had who first round of the playoffs? Who they have first round?
OKC?
Yeah.
Where's my stat man at? Where's my stat man?
You said what's that?
Who the OKC have first round? First round.
Who the OKC have in the first round?
Yeah. They went to that gauntlet with, you know what I'm saying, Denver. Denver.
They had Denver.
That was second round. But I mean, see, even with Denver, their bench was short too. That was an issue that Denver had. Because had Denver had, you know, a bit of a deeper bench, even just 1 or 2 guys, and we're starting to see that these teams that have, you know, a larger rotation of guys that can kind of come in and substitute and give their starters rest, they're the ones kind of moving on. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's catching up with the Knicks right now.
They played the Grizzlies. They played the Grizzlies.
Right. The Grizzlies' job was hurt. Right. Yeah. Okay. And then they played Denver.
I think they ended up sweeping. They ended up sweeping them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now we're gonna see. I think it could look really similar to that Grizzlies series. I think maybe Pacers will get like
you don't think it's gonna be a fight at all?
I mean, we're gonna have games. They're gonna score points. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, but I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like the OKC's just a way better team. Like the way they play. I feel like right now they're just more aggressive defensively. We saw what the Knicks were doing up until the midpoint of the fourth quarter, game 1. OKC, the thing with them, they don't let up. Like what? They deflate you. Remember how the Warriors used to be deflating? Once they get up and they would just like smack you. OKC does that. They hitting those threes, and when their home crowd is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so they really try to like hit you in the mouth. You know what I mean? So, but we gonna see though, man. Yeah. We're gonna see. Yeah. We're gonna see. All that no rim. Shout the producer, Doughboy Bush. Tell you why 4-5. We up out of here, man. We're gonna be back. Maybe like Monday-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like Monday-ish, we'll hit y'all with some new content, talk about where these games are at that point, and we're gonna go from there, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on TikTok. The link is in the description, and we're gonna get back out, y'all, man. Peace.